Okay, boys and girls, today in math, we're going to continue with our lesson 1.2. So that's chapter 1, lesson 2. And most of you, I'm sure, have your Go Math books. It's the one with the two cute bunny rabbits on the cover. And today, students will be able to count and write the numbers 1 and 2 with words and numbers. So on the third slide, Ms. Castro will put up the video of today's lesson. And right now we're going to watch today's lesson. So let me put that up for you.
How can you count and write 1 and 2 with words and numbers?
Good morning. I'm very happy because some of my friends are coming to visit me today. Here's Rafferty. How many of my friends do you see? That's right, one friend. And there's Roberto. Hello, Roberto. How many of my friends do you see now? 1, 2. 2 friends have come to visit. How can I write the number 2? Do you know how? There are different ways to write the numbers 1 and 2. Let's learn how to write 1 and 2 using words and numbers.
We're going to practice counting 1 and 2. You can use the 5 frame to help you count. First, click the counter to count 1.
So remember, the counter, boys and girls, is this object here that's red and it's in the shape of a circle. Now you only see the red side of it, but on the other side it's also yellow. So it's a two-sided circular object where one side is red and the other side is yellow.
1. There is one counter in the 5 frame. How can you show 1? 1. Since the last counting word is the number of objects in the set, this set has one counter. This is the number 1. Now, let's write the word 1. Click the number 1. O N E 1. Now let's count to 2. Click the counter to start.
So before we go into the next part, I just wanted to show you, boys and girls, there's 3 different ways that you can show the number 1. You can show the number 1 by having one counter in the 5 frame, in the first box, as you could see. You could write the number 1 as a number, and then you could write the number 1 as a word. Okay, so there's 3 different ways to show 1. Now they're going to show us about the number 2.
1, 2. There are 2 counters in the 5 frame. How do you show the number 2? 1, 2. Since the last counting word is the number of objects in the set, this set has 2 counters. This is the number 2. Let's write the word 2. Click the number 2. T W O 2. Let's practice counting objects and showing numbers some more. How many notebooks are there? 1. Here is 1 notebook. How many rolls of tape are there? 1, 2. There are 2 rolls of tape. Drag the number 1 and the number 2 next to the picture with the same number of objects. There is 1 notebook and 2 rolls of tape.
All right, who can help Miss Castro? Because I need help dragging these numbers into the correct spot. The number 1, where is it located? Is the number 1 at the top or is number 1 at the bottom? Who can help Miss Castro? I see Andrew has his hand up. Andrew, can you tell me where is the number 1? Is it on top or is it at the bottom?
Top.
Top, very good. So Ms. Cash is going to take the number 1 that's up here on top and put it right there next to the pink notebook. Beautiful. Now I need help with the number 2. Where is the number 2? Is it on top or is it on the bottom? Jace, can you help us out? Where is the number 2? Top or bottom?
Bottom.
Very good. Bottom is correct. So Ms. Cash is going to take the number 2 and drag it over to the 2 tape dispensers. There we go.
Great job! The number 1 should be next to the 1 notebook, and the number 2 should be next to the 2 rolls of tape.
All right. So now, boys and girls, we're going to practice in our math book. If you happen to have your chapter 1 math book with you, you're more than welcome to follow along with me, okay? Yesterday, Ms. Castro did not realize that when I was at the smartboard, you could not see what I was doing. Parents, if at any point I'm at the smartboard and you don't see something on your side, let me know. You could just unmute yourself and let me know that you can't see it so I could try to quickly fix it. So hopefully with what I did today, you will be able to see what I did so that way your children can follow along with me, okay? So I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to change this. All right, so we are on page 19. Here on page 19, they are showing us these square objects. You have a green square object on top, and then you have some blue square objects on the bottom. Those square objects, boys and girls, are called cubes. Those are counting cubes, okay? So they're giving us cubes to count. So first we're going to count the green. And I'm going to use my magic finger, and I'm going to touch the green counter. And when I count, I say 1. So I only have 1 green counter. Now they want us to trace the number 1. The number 1, as you can see, you start at the blue dot, and you go straight down, and then you stop. So I'm going to show you. I'm standing at the smartboard. I hope this works. Hold on 1 second. Maybe I could do this. All right. I think that should do it. Start at the blue dot. Trace the line. Trace the line, and stop.
Good to see you. Sit up.
Okay? So now, boys and girls, if you happen to have the book with you, you're more than welcome to follow along.
Pay attention.
And that way you can also trace the number 2. Sorry, the number 1. Then we're going to move on to the next number. So keep tracing the number 1s. Nice and neat. All you're doing is starting at the blue dot and following straight down. Then what you have to do is you have to trace the word that shows 1. The word 1 is spelled O-N-E. So you're going to trace those letters. O-N-E. That there, boys and girls, is the way you write the word 1. Okay? So we just did 1 green cube. Now we're going to go to the bottom of the page where you see the blue counters. So you're going to take your magic finger, and now you're going to count with Ms. Castro. 1, 2. So here we have 2 blue counters. So to make the number 2 as a number, you're going to trace what they have there. Start at the blue dot, go up, around, down, and out. And that's how you form the number 2. So we're going to trace the number 2 all the way across. Start at the blue dot, up, down, around, and out. And you keep tracing the number 2 until you reach the very end. Okay? Then they showed us the word 2, which is spelled with letters. Spelled with the letters T-W-O. So we are going to trace those letters to form the word 2. T-W-O. W, O. All right? So we just completed the first page together of lesson 1.2. We're learning how to count and write 1 and 2 with words and numbers, okay? I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds to finish that page up if you're working on it. Don't forget, boys and girls, very important, even though you're home, it's very good for you to practice your first and last name. So if you did not write your name at the top, I want you to please write it now. First and last name. All right, we're gonna continue on to the next page, boys and girls. So if you turn to the next page, it's gonna look like this. So where the red apple is with the number 1 in it, they have a blue cube there. So you're gonna take your magic finger and you're gonna count the blue cubes. And when we touch it, we say 1. So we have 1 blue cube. They simply want us to trace the number 1s all the way across until you get to the very end. So that's what you're gonna do on the next page. For the blue cube, start with the blue dot and you trace the number 1 straight down and you keep finishing it until you get to the very end. Nice and neat. Okay, now we're gonna go down to the next example where the sun is with the number 2. We have some red cubes. So take your magic finger. You're gonna touch the first red cube. And now we're gonna count. 1, 2. There we have 2 red cubes. So they wrote the number 2 for you already, and all you have to do is trace the number 2 all the way to the end. Start at the blue dot, go up, around, down, and over. And keep tracing the number 2 until you get to the very end. Before I continue, boys and girls, because I want to make sure that you can see what I'm doing on the smartboard, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Give me a thumbs up if you see Miss Castro working on the smartboard. Can you see what I'm doing on the smartboard? If you see me doing it, give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. I see some children with the perfect. Thank you. Okay. And moms and dads, if you have any questions regarding today's lesson, just please reach out to me on Class Dojo, and that way I can help you. And again, I'm sorry for yesterday, the technology issue I was having. I thought the entire time what I was doing on the smartboard you were able to see, but apparently you did not. So I sincerely apologize for that. All right, let's continue. Moving on, number 3 with the green leaf. They have there a paint of orange bottle. Raise your hand if you would like to count for us how many orange paint bottles we have. Elijah, can you unmute yourself? Share with us how many orange paint bottles do we have?
Say it. Say it.
Say the
1.
Yes, we have 1 orange paint bottle. So boys and girls, your job is to write the number 1 on the line.
Mute yourself.
Beautiful. Good job, Elijah.
Oh, man. Oh,
There you go. All right, next question. The blue flower with the number 4. Raise your hand if you would like to share with us how many paint brushes do you see in your math book? How many paint brushes do you see in your math book? Remember, when you count, use your magic finger. Can you share with us, please, Rosaline, how many paint brushes do you see? You gotta unmute yourself, Rosaline. There you go.
2.
Excellent job, Rosaline. Very good. So we have 2 paint brushes. So you're gonna write the number 2 to show the 2 paint brushes. Excellent job. All right, next question. The purple butterfly with the number 5. We're on the next page. There is a supplies box. The supplies box is where you keep all of your color pencils, your crayons, all of your supplies that you use to do your work at home. I saw that Leon raised his hand. Leon, can you unmute yourself and share with us how many supplies boxes do you see?
One.
Good job. Very good counting. There is only one green supplies box. So your job, boys and girls, is to write the number 1 on that line. Alina, you have a question? Go ahead and unmute yourself, Alina.
My question is, I did my homework very good.
Very good. I'm very proud of you, Alina. Thank you for sharing. All right, next question. Number 6 with the brown acorn. That's a nut. We have some glue sticks. Who can tell us how many glue sticks do we have? Remember to use your magic finger, and when you use it, you're pointing and touching each object. So who wants to share with us how many glue sticks do we have? Kimora, can you unmute yourself, please?
Say how many?
Go ahead.
There's 2.
Excellent job. There's 2 glue sticks. Very good. So your job, boys and girls, is to write the number 2 on the line. Next, the pink heart with the number 7. We have some pink markers. Riley, I saw you had your hand up before. Can you unmute yourself and tell us how many markers do we have?
2.
Beautiful, perfect. So boys and girls, your job is to write the number 2 on the line for the 2 pink markers. And boys and girls, if you ever get confused on how to make the number 2, don't worry. It's okay if you make mistakes, because that means we're learning from our mistakes, okay? So all you got to do is keep practicing at home. Next, we have a pair of scissors where the fish is with the number 8. How many pairs of scissors do we have? I see a hand sticking up for Jaden, but I can't see you. Jaden, are you able to unmute yourself? Jaden, I can't see you. Can you unmute yourself? I saw your hand up.
We can't see the board.
Say that again?
We cannot see the board. We can't see the work you're doing.
Let me stop sharing the screen and let me share it again. Hold on one moment. Let me try again.
She saw you.
Can you Can you see it now?
No. We only see you. We don't see anything else.
I know that one of the families had that issue last time. I think what they did was they got off of the meeting and then they came back on. Do you want to try that?
Yes, we'll try.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
All right. We have a pair of scissors here now. Who can tell me how many pairs of scissors we have? Zaylee, go ahead. How many scissors do you see?
Say it.
1.
1. Excellent job. So we have to show on the line the number 1. So that's a line straight down. Okay, because we're practically over time, I'm gonna go over the last 2 problems. The seashell with the number 9 in it, the blue paint bottle, there's 1 blue paint bottle. So you're gonna write the number 1 there for the blue paint bottle. And then the orange with the number 10 inside of it, we have glue bottles. So there are 1, 2 glue bottles. So you're gonna write the number 2 on the line there. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop here. let me go to our Google Classroom so I can show you what today's work is. So for today, boys and girls, for math on your Google Classroom, if you see here on the left-hand side, the attendance should be done. Then you have lesson 1.2, which is our math, and then the lowercase u. So I'm going to open up lesson 1.2. So if you have the math books on pages 23 and on page 24, that's the work you're going to do today. If you do not have the math book, which it's okay if you do not, Ms. Castro put up here 1-25 and 1-26. That's if you do not have the math book. Or if you do have the math book and you want to do some extra work, you can definitely do that, okay? So the sheets are right here for today's lesson on your Google Classroom, okay, boys and girls? Great job today. I'm very proud of you.